What is going on, guys? It's Coda from D Caldwell Photography, and in today's video we are going to be running it back. A couple months ago, Kirsten and I came to a garage and we shot some of the FujiFilm simulation video. That's going to be somewhere at the top here, but we shot using the CineStill 800T film simulation on the Fuji X-T4 and the 33mm f1.4 lens. So now that I have my film camera, my Mamiya RZ67 Pro 2, we are going to be shooting with the CineStill 800T film stock and trying to replicate said photos that you guys are seeing on the screen. So if you enjoy the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up, as well as click that subscribe button so you don't miss any upcoming film content. Enjoy the video, guys. Am I on still? All right. So the settings on the, I actually, in my phone, if I pull up one of the photos, damn, I got too much stuff on my phone here. If I scroll to one of the photos from that day, here we go. All right, we were at 1.6 for our shutter speed, excuse me. We are 1.6 for our aperture, we are 1/60 of a second for our shutter speed, and ISO 1600. So I already used my A7R III with the Tamron f2.8 28-75 lens to try to meter, because I don't have a light meter, so I was metering with a digital camera. So right now, our Mamiya RZ f2.8 110mm lens is only an f2.8 lens, it's not an f1.4. So for that, you're going to try to compensate by bumping up some of the ISO, right? So the film box speed is 800, but we're going to bump that up to around 2,000 to 2,500 right now, just because we need more light in this situation, as well as I do like grain on my photos. Damn, it's always something in the background. I kid you not. But I do like grain on my photos, y'all, so we're bumping that up some to let in light, add more grain for when it's developed. We're shooting at about a 1/60th of a second shutter speed, just like these, and hopefully the photos turn out. Actually, for the couple other boxes I have, I'll bump up the film, the shutter speed, as well as the ISO, just to see what type of results we get from the various boxes. So without further ado, like I mentioned already, we got Kirsten here, and we're gonna get started. Did you get that? I could never. I know we're in like a, this, based off the pictures I showed on the screen earlier, they look too grungy, it looked like a horror movie type scene, but like the people screeching and shit, that like don't help. I don't like that. Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. The biggest thing I discovered since shooting with film is that a lot of the simulations and other edits that I would try to do within Lightroom to say I was emulating a film look really doesn't look too filmy at all. And that's not a knock against any of the things that I did before. It's just now that I've been shooting a little bit more with a lot of the various film stocks, it's just like folks say, there's no real replacement for film. You can try to emulate it as much as possible, but when you just look at the images like the ones I'm showing you side by side right now, there's really just a distinct comparison between the digital look and the film analog look itself. Another key takeaway that I can think of for this shoot is the fact that there is so much grain incorporated inside of the film images compared to the ones on digital. And I know that when I am shooting digital and I try to get that film look, and I'm using air quotes right now, but when I try to get that film look, I add a bunch of grain to the photos in Capture One. I try not to go like too overboard. I use like a cool, subtle, like silver rich grain effect on some of my images, and then just kind of like bump up the amount a little bit. But there's nothing compared to what is being displayed, or what was displayed earlier in the video with the images that I shot on the Mamiya RZ67 Pro 2. I do regret not starting off by shooting at the native box speed ISO. I do a lot of metering with one of my digital cameras before I shoot, so I can get kind of the best composition possible. I was shooting at f2.8 on my 110 Mamiya lens, and I was really just trying to verify that all my settings were correct so that my lighting isn't off and the pictures were just completely dark. But I was shooting a little bit earlier than I was when I took the photos on the Fuji X-E4. And yeah, I just, I probably would have turned the ISO down just a little bit in hindsight. Just thinking back on it, I was at about a 2000 and a 2500 for both boxes, trying to just add a little bit more of the grain effect as well as let more light in. But I also have to understand too, when I am bumping up the ISO, I am underexposing the photos itself. So they came out a lot darker, and I'm gonna show some of the darker images on the screen right now. They did come out a little bit darker than I would have liked, so I did have to adjust some of the exposure and brightness within like Lightroom, but I did enjoy the overall feel of the images. Again, it gave me that grungy, like horror movie type look that I was going for, that I did achieve on my digital camera a little while ago, like 3 months or so back when we first shot in this parking garage. But I wanted to run it back with the CineStill 800T film stock to see if there's any major differences between the two. Next time, if I do a test like this, I will definitely try to just shoot at the box speed ISO. But I wanted to off rip, like just compare the settings. So everything that my digital camera was set to, I tried to my best to set it on my film camera as well. Of course, there was a discrepancy between the lens type because I did use the 33mm f1.4 lens from Fuji, and with the Mamiya lens only being a f2.8 aperture, you got to adjust your settings from that point, maybe pushing down the shutter speed a little bit. So I was just trying to adjust and compensate for some of that light differential from an f1.4 lens versus an f2.8 lens. So we did our best. I brought a tripod with me because I knew some of the shots were going to be a little bit shaky if I was to handheld my Mamiya the whole time. So we had the tripod, and again, I think they turned out okay. I think definitely next time when I do attempt to shoot like this, I will be better prepared in terms of the lighting scenario, knowing a little bit better of what settings that I need to adjust my film camera to be at. I do thoroughly enjoy this CineStill 800T film stock. I really like the colors that came from it, the whole vibe. I mean, it's the whole cinematic feel that I go for in a bunch of my images as of this past year. So I think they are really cool. I am going to be shooting a lot more using this film stock to see what type of images I can get. In all honesty, I do like the CineStill 50D. I'll do a separate video on that, but I just want to throw that out there because soon I will also have my hands on some CineStill 400D, and I can't wait to take some images with that. So the CineStill stock film that I've been shooting with is pretty dope so far. So you guys can look out for more videos and images coming soon from that. I hope you all enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun making it. I had a lot of fun shooting this with Kirsten as well. So her IG and all that information will be linked in the description below. Make sure you go check out her work and give her a follow, as well as follow me on Instagram at dcaldwellphotography. And of course, you all know the routine. If you enjoyed the video, go ahead and smash the hell out that like button, as well as click that subscribe button so you don't miss any upcoming content, especially Film Friday content. Just a reminder, Film Fridays are bi-weekly, and with teacher vacation coming up for the summer, I'll have a lot more time to push out a lot more content like this. So thank you again. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.